All right, picture this with me. You're a yoga instructor, let's say, in sunny LA, right? And you're finally taking that leap to teach private clients. You're stoked, ready to get your name out there. You know you need a website. But how do you actually stand out online? What makes someone click that book now button instead of just like scrolling on to the next instructor's page? That's what we're diving into today.
Yeah, it's a jungle out there, even for yoga instructors these days.
It really is.
Yeah.
So thankfully, we found this article by uwebstores.com.au. It's an Australian web design company. It's called Essential Features for Successful Private Yoga Instructor Websites. And what's great is it's written for like actual yoga teachers, not, tech geniuses.
Yeah.
So let's break down their must-have features. Some are actually surprisingly clever. They start off with detailed service offerings.
Which, seems kind of obvious at first glance, but you got to think about it from the student's point of view. They need to know exactly what they're getting into.
Right, exactly. Like picturing our LA instructor again, just saying yoga classes offered. That's not going to cut it these days. Is it hot yoga, hatha, goat yoga with like actual goats?
Right.
The article really emphasizes being really specific.
Yeah, this is about managing expectations, really, and attracting the right clients right off the bat. Think about it like a restaurant menu. You wouldn't just see food listed as the only option, right?
Yeah.
Like, you want to know what kind of cuisine, what are the specialties, heck, maybe even see some, mouth-watering photos.
Totally.
Your website kind of needs that same level of detail to really, entice those potential students, I think.
That's a great analogy. And it makes you think, when you're browsing online for, a pottery class, anything, really, are you more likely to contact someone with, a super vague description or someone who really lays it all out there?
Oh, the detailed one, for sure. Knowing what you're signing up for just removes that hesitation, that, fear of the unknown.
Totally. Okay, so next up, this is where I think things get really interesting. The article talks about the instructor bio and how it needs to be more than just, your qualifications and where you got certified.
Right.
They
gave that example about the yoga instructor who overcame, really debilitating anxiety through yoga.
Right.
And that kind of story just makes you think, wow, this person, they understand the struggle, they get it, maybe they can help me too.
It makes you want to root for them, too. Okay, so I'm curious, thinking about our LA instructor, what kind of detail in their bio would, really make them stand out for you? What would make you actually hit that contact button?
That's a good question. I think for me, it's the details that really reveal their passion, their personality. Maybe our LA instructors started practicing yoga on the beach, or they bring in elements of mindfulness from their surfing practice or something. It's about going beyond the generic, giving people a glimpse into your unique journey.
Because at the end of the day, you're not just selling yoga poses, right? You're selling an experience, a connection with you.
Exactly. People connect with people, not just credentials on a page.
100%. All right. Let's move on to online booking. Pretty essential in 2024, right? But again, the article digs deeper here. It's not just about having a system. It's about making it ridiculously user-friendly. Time zones, reminders, easy payment options, all that good stuff.
Oh, 100%. And, think about a time when you've, abandoned an online purchase because the checkout process was just a total nightmare. Maybe they didn't take Apple Pay or the website kept crashing.
The worst.
The worst, right. So frustrating. So that's why this point about online booking, it ties back into creating a seamless user experience, just removing any barriers to people actually booking with you.
So our LA instructor, even though they're just starting out, they need to recognize that this is make or break for a lot of people.
Absolutely. Convenience is king, especially in a world where everyone is so pressed for time.
It's like they say, right? You never get a second chance to make a first impression. And in the online world, your website, that's often it,
Yeah, totally.
Speaking of first impressions, let's talk about point number 4, client testimonials.
Okay.
We all know social proof is powerful. But again, this article goes beyond just get testimonials.
Right.
They actually suggest a specific layout.
Oh, interesting.
Using real names and locations just to add to that credibility. Sarah's gentle approach really helped me reconnect with my body after my injury. Michael, Venice Beach. Something specific, relatable.
Yeah, it's the difference between reading a restaurant review that just says the food was amazing versus one that's their mushroom risotto to die for. Oh, and ask for John. He's the best served.
Exactly.
That level of detail just makes it feel so much more authentic, believable. Like you're getting a recommendation from a friend, not just reading some like marketing copy.
Totally.
And they even use the word nudge, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Testimonials, they can be that final nudge that convinces someone to actually book a class.
Oh, 100%. I've definitely been swayed by a good testimonial. It's like, all right, well, if it worked for them, maybe it can work for me. But it makes you wonder, what kind of language actually resonates as most genuine? Is it like the over-the-top, this changed my life testimonial, or is something a little more like grounded, relatable?
That's a good question because, I mean, sometimes even a testimonial can feel inauthentic if it's just too overblown. I think it depends on like the overall tone of the website too.
Yeah, for sure.
Like if our LA yoga instructor is going for more of a laid-back, approachable vibe, their testimonial should probably reflect that. You know what I mean?
It's got to feel cohesive for
Yeah.
sure. Okay, last but not least, the article talks about having an engaging yoga tips blog.
Okay.
And I love how they frame this. It's more than just like an SEO tactic to get your website higher up on Google, which, let's be real, everyone's trying to do, right?
Right.
But they talk about it like it's content marketing. You're establishing yourself as like an expert.
Someone worth listening to.
Exactly. It shows you're invested in your students' well-being beyond just that like hour they spend in class with you.
Absolutely. It's about like adding value, building a community around what you do. Imagine, our LA instructors sharing like tips for practicing mindfulness, but on a hike in Runyon Canyon, right?
Right.
Or maybe a recipe for like a really good post-yoga smoothie using all local ingredients. It's those little touches, that make it really personal, engaging.
And it keeps people coming back for more.
Yeah.
Have you ever like subscribed to a blog because the content was just that good?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I found this blog once, it was the ceramicist, and she shared the coolest, like, behind-the-scenes stuff about her process, her inspiration, even just, like, her studio setup. And I was just hooked. It wasn't even really about, like, selling pottery at that point. It was about sharing a passion,
And that's what makes the difference, right? Passion. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here, from like detailed descriptions, compelling bios, seamless booking systems, glowing testimonials, and then the power of a well-crafted blog.
Yeah, it's a lot. And I think what ties all of these different elements together is this idea of intentionality.
Oh, yeah.
Like, every part of the website should be really carefully considered to create this cohesive, compelling online presence.
It's like building a house almost. Like every little detail from the foundation to the doorknobs, it all contributes to like the overall feel and functionality of the space. And in this case, the house, that's your online yoga studio. And just like with a physical yoga studio, your website needs to feel welcoming, inspiring, but also like authentically you.
Yeah, exactly. It's about like translating your teaching style, your personality into that digital space.
So thinking about our LA yoga instructor, right? Building your online presence, what stands out to you as like the most crucial takeaway? If they could only focus on one thing, what would it be?
Honestly, I think it goes back to that word authenticity.
Yeah.
Like if our LA instructor can really infuse their genuine personality into every single element, from the bio to those blog posts, that's what's going to resonate with people.
100%. It's about cutting through all the noise online and making a genuine connection. So instead of trying to be everything to everyone, our instructors should really like zero in on what makes them unique, what they're passionate about, whether it's like their background in dance, or maybe they love to surf, or they're really into, I don't know, eco-conscious living.
Yeah.
Those personal touches are going to make them stand out.
And those unique elements, they should be like woven throughout the entire website, right?
Yes.
Creating that cohesive, compelling brand identity.
It's like that saying, just be yourself, everyone else is already taken.
Okay.
Before we wrap up this deep dive, anything else that's like lingering in your mind? Any final thoughts for our LA instructor, or honestly, anyone out there looking to, step up their online game?
This whole conversation is making me think about storytelling.
Oh, yeah.
Not just in the bio, but like throughout the website, right?
Yeah.
Maybe our LA instructor could share some stories from their own yoga journey, like highlighting the challenges they've overcome, the transformative power of the practice, that kind of thing.
It's so powerful because stories, they connect with us on such an emotional level, right? Like they make us feel something, and that's what makes them memorable.
Exactly. And in a world where, let's be honest, we are just bombarded with information constantly. It's those emotional connections that actually matter.
100%. So to kind of bring it all home, a successful yoga instructor website, it's about way more than just listing your services and your certifications, right?
Right.
It's about telling your story, showcasing your personality, and creating that online experience that really reflects the heart and soul of your teaching.
Yeah, building that virtual studio that's like just as welcoming and inspiring as your physical one.
Beautifully said. And on that note, we'll leave you with this final thought. As you're, navigating the online world, authenticity, that's your superpower, right? Embrace what makes you unique, share your story, share with passion, and your people, they'll find you.